everybody, and welcome to another episode of At Home with the Willises. I'm Nicci Willis, and
I'm Jameen Willis.
And today's topic is this the end of Airbnb? Good question. All right, right now, you're at home with the Willises. So before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe to all the things that we have going on. So hit that button right down there in the corner and also hit that bell so that you are notified every time we upload new content. But let's get into this short-term rental. We keep calling it Airbnb, but it's short-term rental discussion because it's not just Airbnb.
Wait. Before we do that.
What?
This is Black History Month.
Yes.
Tell the people just a quick recap of what we did to celebrate Black History recently.
Oh, for MLK?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we were a part of the Las Vegas MLK parade.
I was in the parade.
You were in the parade.
All the way in the parade.
So, as many of you know, we are the founders of Black Henderson. So, and I am running for Mrs. Nevada America. So we thought it would be just really fun to be a part of MLK Week. And so we went to the MLK Scholarship Banquet that Saturday, the Saturday before MLK Day. And that was fantastic.
Now,
Senator,
were the scholarships like the
Congressman.
Grammys? Like they gave the Grammy out like later on, but you don't see
No,
it on
it was
Grammy?
to raise money for scholarships.
Oh,
For
okay.
the children in tech. So that was pretty awesome. And the children that were there that are part of the tech program, the tech summit, some of the children were there. So it was pretty cool. But Congressman Horsford was the keynote speaker. And I really liked his speech. First of all, he gave like some real facts about the whole the start of MLK Day and everything, and what the Black Caucus has been doing to further, I guess not the struggle, but further progression on the advancement of Black people. And what'd you say, Jen?
The cause.
And to further the cause. But what I really liked was he highlighted some really powerful women in his speech and just gave women their flowers, which I thought that was pretty awesome. So shout out to Congressman Horsford for that. And then on Monday was the MLK parade. And fun fact, the Las Vegas MLK parade is the largest parade in Las Vegas, or in not Las Vegas, but yes, in Las Vegas, but in the state of Nevada.
Well, I hope so. The rest is dirt.
And no, there are other cities in Nevada, Jay.
About 30.
Anyway,
About
It's like
30.
7.
About 30.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Like 5.
But also,
and then
it's
just
one of
dirt.
the largest. It's one of the largest parades on the West Coast. You almost ruined my fun fact.
My bad.
You know I love doing fun facts. Anyway,
Talk about
it was
Jen.
great.
Jen was in the drop.
Jen
top.
was in
She
that.
was
So
the
yeah,
drop top.
we were like, well, let's be a part of this parade, right? So I went as representing Mrs. Henderson and the Mrs. Nevada America, but we were also representing Black Henderson. So we had the Mrs. America or Mrs. Nevada America
Sponsored
by Black Henderson. So we were able to share about Black Henderson and share that, yes, there are Black people that live in Henderson. Let me tell you, that was one of the most interesting things to hear, spectators on the sideline going, yay, this is, a Black queen and all the things, which was really cool. But then they were going, wait a minute, there are Black people that live in Henderson? Wait, what? And I was going, yes, we do. So that was pretty cool to, talk to different spectators and bring smiles to people and be a part of the parade. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh, it's pretty dope to be in the parade and be like in downtown Henderson.
Yeah.
Like, after driving and partying and visiting and now living here, I actually got to be in the parade and be like on Fremont Street. That was pretty dope.
It made me feel local.
When I looked up and I saw we were on Fremont
part
Street,
of-
I'm like, okay, this parade stuff is actually pretty cool.
I really liked the crowd reaction to Nicci. Just because, like, you see all the little girls like, look, mommy, it's a princess. She's so pretty. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
Aww. Well, thank you. It was nice. Like I said, to bring smiles to people's faces and, you know, take pictures with little girls. And that was pretty cool. So, this was a big parade. There were 150 entries. So it was a
more than that.
huge parade. Well, what I saw on the list, at least for what the lineup was, it was 150 entries. And I'm not talking about like 2 or 3 people. Some people were 50 deep. Some people were 100 deep. I mean, this was a huge parade. We were done, as a matter of fact, with our route. And we were like, well, let's go eat, lunch. Because we had been there. I mean, the parade itself started at 10? We were done within about an hour and a half, I would say. And so we were like, yeah, let's go get lunch.
Oh, so the whole parade wasn't over when we left?
No.
Not at all.
We were we were on Charleston, I think it was. Yeah, we were on Charleston, headed to the highway, and I could still see people standing still waiting to just get started.
Oh, I thought the whole parade was over when we were done.
No.
Oh, because we were like 20.
We were 21.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was number 21 out of 150. So, yeah, they were there for a while.
Oh.
So, shout out to whoever put me towards the front. Appreciate you. And,
Oh, I wouldn't have made it then
me send
if we
you
would have
something
been like
special,
150 walking out.
Oh,
and stopping and walking. Oh,
It
yeah, I would
was-
have been like, yeah, y'all need to scoot over. I'm getting in this car.
They'd have been like, sir, can you, number 82, you need to come on back
I'd
here.
been riding on the back waving like,
No, but so yeah, it's a large undertaking. So shout out to King Week and the committee for allowing me to come and be a part of King Week. Period. So I'm looking forward to being part of that every year. So and I know some Black Henderson members were saying, will we be doing this next year? Yes, we definitely will be, and we'll want people to join us too.
yeah.
Let's be 50 deep out here. Okay, anyway, we'll organize it. But anyway, all right, let's talk about short-term rentals. Last week, we actually started this conversation because, to catch you up, if you haven't watched last week's episode, go back and watch it. But I'll give you like a little snippet. We ran into a story where a homeowner who was doing operating a short-term rental illegally got fined by the city of Las Vegas. And not no little middly piddly fine. I'm talking about $180,000 fine for operating their short-term rental illegally. So essentially, 360 days they were advertising this home as a short-term rental. And so it was retroactive back to that day that they started advertising it. This was also an issue because whatever the tenants were doing,
Parties.
whatever they were doing, it was loud. So they were getting complaints from homeowners, neighbors. They were also getting complaints, obviously, that there were different people in and out of this particular house. So the city had given them a letter, a cease and desist letter. She didn't listen. And so she got hit with this $180,000 fine, which was $360 days multiplied by $500 a day fines. Wow. Okay. So I ran into another story, which the title says, Palm Springs capped Airbnb rentals. Now, some home prices are in free fall. So this is really, really interesting because we went to Palm Springs.
Yes.
And
bucket list trip.
Yes.
Well, we want to go back with no kids, though.
Yeah, we had John. John is a fun time, though.
No,
I think we've already said that.
Yeah.
Johnny, he's a fun time.
It just felt a little like, he was the only kid at the pool. You know what I'm saying?
Was.
So,
hey, but you know what? That's what happens when you're the youngest. You know what I mean? Like you get the spoils. Our other two, now adults, They got to pay. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so he's the youngest. So we were like, come on, bud. Like, we're getting out of Dodge, doing a little weekend trip.
Then we never catch the bright line.
Next time, maybe. I don't know if it goes through.
No, it won't go there.
Yeah, I don't think the
It'll
high
be a
speed.
shorter trip if we go to.
Oh, that would be smart if it dipped down into Palm Springs and dipped right on back. That wouldn't be a bad idea. They need to think about that. Y'all can pay me and we can talk about it. Is that no? Okay. Anywho, this one in particular is talking about Airbnb or short-term rentals. The city of Palm Springs is now cracking down on short-term rentals. LA has already started cracking down on short-term rentals. And so a lot of homeowners in LA or investors in LA began to kind of migrate out to Palm Springs. Well, Palm Springs has now passed an ordinance saying that all neighborhoods can only have 20% of the homes as short-term rentals.
Which is a lot for
that's a nice amount
for a tourist type city. That's almost like saying Gatlinburg, Big Bear type. You know, it's like not that much of a tourist attraction, but like a little just below it.
Mm-hmm. So this ordinance, they adopted this new ordinance in 2022 that capped the number of certificate rentals in any given neighborhood. So if you live in 10 Palm Springs neighborhoods that are already over the limit, you're actually like, there's really nothing you can do right now. You just have a house that you really can't make money off of.
So it's kind of like, with like condos and townhouses, you can't have.
For going FHA?
Yeah, FHA.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. You can only have a certain percentage. And this is something for you guys. It's not even a real estate minute, but you're going to get it anyway. Okay, so if you want a condo or, something in a high rise or something like that, those aren't necessarily FHA approved. They don't meet FHA guidelines. Essentially, when you look at condos and things like that, for the most part, there are homeowners, but a lot of these condos also have renters in them. And so FHA guidelines looks at the ratio of renters to homeowners in a, what do we call it? Like on a property, right? Like units on a property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. Occupancy. There we go.
Yeah.
So if most condos do not meet FHA guidelines, and so if you want a condo, then you have to get different kind of financing, like conventional. And even then, they still go through a lot more red tape. And if you want a condo, a great question to ask your loan officer is, what is the process for that? So just a little tip there for you.
You can look too to see if it's.
You can
FHA
also look on the HUD, but it's
sketchy. It could be
incorrect.
Yeah.
And you don't want to waste time.
You also could change it, but it can be a long process.
You can get a spot, what they call a spot variance, or something that could make your particular unit pass or get grandfathered in. That takes a lot, and you might as well just get the right financing so that you can get the condo. Okay, all right. Now back to short-term rentals. Let's see. So some of these neighborhoods, okay. So just so that you know. The licenses that already were in place before it capped, they were grandfathered in. So if you had a license before then, you're okay. You're actually good to go. But they do count, those grandfathered in licenses count towards the cap. So there's a neighborhood called Movie Colony East. They're already at 21.8%. So the limit is 20%. They already passed the limit. There's another one, Racket Club Estates. 41.6%. So they are through the roof. Okay. Basically, 1 out of every 2 homeowners is doing a short-term rental in that neighborhood. So, and with that, these rules are very strict. So, one in particular is if that home is licensed or has the Airbnb or short-term rental license, once you sell that home, that license does not carry over. And that's true here in Las Vegas too, but
if
very
your
strict.
grandfather had it, that don't mean
That
you
does
gonna
not mean. As a matter of fact, if it changes ownership in any way, you lose your license and you have to reapply. And for the most part, you're not going to get the license because
it's trying to get rid of it.
It's capped. Yeah,
that should be because that's like if you have a liquor license and then somebody buys a place, you get the liquor license because you bought that particular location.
Mm-hmm. There's 66, and I'll just say one more thing. There's 66 neighborhoods in Palm Springs, or 10 of them are already well over the limit. So.
I can definitely see that because when we went, we went on a tour of houses where it was like a attraction. Like we pulled up a thing, paid for a tour. We went to Kirk Douglas's house and Goldie Hawn and Elvis where he went on his honeymoon.
Yeah,
and cool. Some of those people didn't even live there.
Yeah, they were vacant.
But I mean, you saw all the people like driving, walking, biking up to houses. That can be annoying. Like if you're Joe Smo homeowner just minding your business and you got a line of cars waiting to look at Elvis' house next to yours.
Or people, because that one lady, because they said in our tour, don't get out your car and be in other people's lines. Mm-hmm. And what were people doing? Getting out their cars, standing in other people's lines so that they could take pictures of these houses.
People don't care.
But as a homeowner, I'm gonna be pretty upset if not only am I dealing with Airbnbs, I'm living next to attractions. What?
Have you guys seen the dinosaur house in Henderson?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see. We saw one in.
It's off of Pecos, right?
No, it's like deep Henderson, but there's a house where the whole lawn is these like giant
dinosaurs.
I saw and he does attractions for like Halloween and holidays and stuff like that.
That's so kind
I think I drove past it and I seen it like on some video.
We drove past the house in Palm Springs that was like that, a huge attraction. Remember?
Yeah.
It had like it was like a amusement park.
Yeah.
Inside, like on the lawn of his house.
No, but it's a place over in off Pecos. Remember it had the Batmobile? Remember we drove in that subdivision and had a Batmobile?
I was thinking about the Igloo house in Boulder City.
It's couple of those. It's one right by a property that we flipped. It's 2 Igloo houses right next to each other. I tried to get in contact with them, but they didn't call me back. If you want to sell, reach out to me.
There we go. Hey, excuse me. Do you own an Igloo house? We'd love to buy it. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I thought this was interesting, especially since we talked about this whole short-term rental issue and the fines last week. Mm-hmm. And now people can't even sell their homes. What's happening is these homes are now sitting on the market because they hold less value. Not no value, but less value.
Well, from my observation, there's 2 kind of people that are in Palm Springs. You have a real high tourist thing. Mm-hmm. So people want to come, like we came, like we opted to stay in a hotel, but we could have stayed in a really dope mid-century modern house. And then you have all the home attractions of mid-century modern houses. So the whole thing of Palm Springs the history is a lot of the movie stars would go to this smaller city to get away from Hollywood.
Right.
So you have all these stars, they would have a second home there. So it's like a swanky little hangout city. So you have this whole tourist thing, but also it's kind of like Florida. It's like a retirement, it's like 2 extremes. It's like tourists, then it's like
high retirement.
I'm going to retire and be in this because it's beautiful. It ain't a speck of dirt. It's quiet. Beautiful.
It's pretty.
You know, the architecture. I mean, I was in
love Mrs.
architecture, furniture, the furniture stores.
You were in heaven.
Yeah, it was everything.
You were in heaven.
But because it's such a tourist place, I think people are like, oh, no, I want to move to Palm Springs and deal with all the tourists.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So that gets rid of people who have in their head, oh, no, it's a whole bunch of tourists in Palm Springs. I'm not moving there. And then the people that want to have an Airbnb, they don't allow them. Yeah. So you have to get the people that don't say, oh, it's too much tourists, I don't want to deal with that. And not the Airbnb, so that you have that sliver of people.
They've opted for it, and it's going to take a while to really see if this has worked because they're trying to preserve the
They're trying to bring homeowners back.
They're trying to bring. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to bring homeowners
Regular
back,
homeowners.
regular homeowners,
Owner
and
occupancy.
preserve, owner occupancy and all that stuff, because it's known that homeowners, they take care of their properties and all the things, and they bring more value. So
I wouldn't live in Palm Springs. I would love to have a second home. That would be like
would
a
you
hideout.
Airbnb it?
What?
Would you make it a short-term rental?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I would want that to be like a second home, and of course, I'm not just gonna have it sitting there.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I'm there 4 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, I want things that's gonna make me money. Like, why not? That's my thing.
I'm just kind of waiting for the whole Airbnb dust to settle, because
it's still a lot.
it was like this huge. It just started. It blew up. In 2007, 2008.
Yeah, it had just started, and they were still working out kinks.
And then you had the heavily regulated era, which we're kind of in right now.
We're in that right now, yeah.
And now you're seeing the negative economic impact of the regulation. So like like we talked about in the last podcast, how Airbnb was able to blow up. It was a solution for people who couldn't sell their houses.
Yes. But it also created a lot more problems.
Yeah, but now when you heavily regulate something, when you've become accustomed to it, it creates another problem, just like in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
So I think that Airbnb eventually may be, it's hard to, just like everybody's kind of waiting for marijuana to be federally legal versus individual states, because it's hard to say, okay, we have this ordinance for everybody. Well, Palm Springs is, totally different than Tucson, Arizona, or, some small town where it's
kind of similar.
Oh, actually, I just threw a city out.
Okay,
whatever.
Pick something else.
Some city where it's mostly homeowners and it's not a big tourist attraction. But I think like Gatlinburg, Big Bear.
Those are touristy places.
I know, but I'm saying it made, when the dust settles, Airbnb made, I always looked at it as it's for places like that. Gatlinburg, Big Bear, big tourist places like
I think
Miami Beach, like right there. Like I don't even know why somebody would want to live right there on Collins. Like it's just all year round turn up. You know what I mean?
Lifestyle.
But I think that it like where it's a lot of tourists, like where we live in Cincinnati, like Airbnb being big, like the biggest thing you have is like the ATP tennis,
What? Oh, I can't remember the title.
ATP.
But yeah, we have
it's called ATP tennis.
It's not ATP. Oh, well, maybe it is. Sorry.
I call out the name, and then you tell me that's not the name.
It doesn't sound right.
Cool, but that's what it is.
Okay. I believe you.
So Airbnb can be very lucrative. Like you can get way more than you can off of a 12-month rental, but it's a lot more to deal with, from people coming in and out, checking people in and checking people out. When you have Airbnb, you have to change the bed linens. You have to provide paper towels, toilet paper.
It's a hotel.
Things in the kitchen. Yeah, it's like a hotel. And if you want to get a high rating and stay booked, you have to provide even more things.
Value.
So you got to put candles in there and soap and snacks and love letters.
It's not a
and
passive
everything.
It's
It's
generator.
It's less passive.
It's
But now you have Airbnb hosts. You have property management companies that manage nothing but
management
Airbnbs.
companies,
But back in the day, you had to do that stuff yourself.
See, another problem solved by a small business.
They got an AI property manager.
Oh my goodness.
Everything.
Yeah, but you have to
online.
get somebody in there that's going to clean it, that's going to reset the property, all that stuff.
Okay. That's what I did. The point I didn't make last time is we're going to be pushed to service jobs like plumber, cleaner. How many houses can you clean in a day? You're only one person, so it's a maximum amount. You're self-employed,
Yeah.
but it's a service-based job. So the tech jobs and stuff that make a lot of money replaced by AI.
True.
Something to think about.
So anyway, something to definitely think about is what they're saying with these neighborhoods and the value that these homes have now lost. Something that could pull 1.2 million, now struggling to get 800,000. So, in particular, a real estate agent, last name Sarland. He said my neighborhood has dropped 30 to 40% in value.
Nah, I'm at the city council meetings. I'm picketing everything.
Now, do you guys, as realtors, have some suggestions for the people who are kind of in that situation? Like, what do you have
to get out of the situation?
Just some other things. Like, okay, you have this property that now you can't do the short-term rental on. What can we do? Mm-hmm. How do you get out of it? Like, am I renting out space in the garage now? Like, what do I do?
Well, one, depending on when you bought it, you definitely need to look at that. But one of the options you can look at is midterm rentals. Mm-hmm. There are no laws and regulations against midterm rentals. And midterm rentals means you are renting it for 30 or more days. So a lot of corporate housing uses midterm rentals. A lot of like when people are displaced because of fires or natural disasters, they will use midterm rentals, and midterm rentals is definitely an option. Another option is using your home as a content space. So you can rent a specific room out or your backyard or something like that as a content space to where people do whatever it is they need to do, whether it's film or record or whatever it is that you allow in your home for the day, and then they pack it up. So there is there's no law against doing something like that. So, I mean, there are ways to get around it. The other thing is calculate and see if this could be a long-term rental. So that means a 12-month, lease.
That's the problem. I gotta, not to cut you off.
12-month lease or what does it look like as a 12-month furnished lease? So you could, charge. You can charge. That's a fact. You can charge significantly higher if your place is furnished. So.
Well, I have investor friends that got into real estate when the market was great during COVID, and we saw a whole bunch of appreciation. So they bought a property for a particular price based on being able to rent it out Airbnb, and if something changes, then that affects their numbers. So if they can't rent it out Airbnb, then they don't make any money or actually lose money.
Yeah.
But they bought the property for this high price when prices were high, and now interest rates kind of went up and prices went down a little bit. But actually, you can self-regulate yourself. So not telling what you to do, but we talked about it in the past episode. If you want to do Airbnb, people are buying them in the hood where people don't care. People are buying them knowing they're immediately breaking the HOA rule when they're saying there's no Airbnbs.
And HOA rules are more strict,
especially here,
than city.
Yeah, especially here.
You gotta be careful.
But another thing you can do is not be a slumlord. You can be a bad landlord with Airbnb, just like you can be a bad landlord with a 12-month lease. True. So in your Airbnb rules, you can put no one-night stays. So you don't get the people just down for one night, just coming to rent your place out to party.
Yeah.
You can do no local people. I know some people, if they see a local person, they don't rent out to them. You got to be an out-of-town person because that person is just looking to find somewhere to have a party and trash the place. Yeah. So you can maximize.
It's highly probable.
Dude, the longer your stay, the less potential riffraff that you get. And you don't rent out to local people, and you can cut out a lot of amount. Now, somebody could be coming to Palm Springs to party for 3 or 4 days, and that's just what they came to do. But it's the same thing. If you be pricing, how many days, no local people, you can self-regulate yourself, and you can cut out the potential problems.
Riffraff.
Yeah.
Even if
just because it's allowed. Not breaking any laws don't mean that you should do it, or you shouldn't have tighter regulations on yourself.
Yeah. Like you said, New York is cracking down. New York, they've cracked down so much. You have to be essentially living with the person that you are renting your home to.
I'll probably take that risk in New York.
There.
I'll tell you, mind your business in New York. You see the prices of New York real estate?
Cost of living.
I mean, this island costs. This island costs $2,000 a month in New York. So I'd be like, mind your business. I need you to pay this mortgage. Like an apartment is $1 million in New York. Mind your business. I'm gonna rent this corner out, that corner out, the corner back there.
People just be waiting in line to use the bathroom.
Yeah, New York is crazy, but I get every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Heck, I like Airbnb. The reason I don't do it is because I'm kind of waiting for the dust to settle. So like when the dust settles, it's like, okay, these are what the rules. They have all the data. They done argued. They done went back and forth, and now, it is.
I think
what it
is. I agree with you on that. I think it's an expensive gamble to be in it right now when there's so many rules, regulations, permits, licensures up in the air. Cities don't know how to manage it, and so
It's like
more
cryptocurrency.
and more people are getting stung.
It's like cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
You made all your money when cryptocurrency was 3 cents.
It's still
But
very
now
volatile.
it's 35,000. But when Airbnb first started and there wasn't no regulations, they didn't know how to regulate it. Those were the golden.
Those were the days.
Those were the golden
And people were
ages of Airbnb.
even people were subletting, right? So
It was the Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
the Wild West.
So people were leasing these homes from the owner and then subletting it and doing Airbnb.
Yep. Airbnb
and they were calling
arbitrage.
Yeah, they were calling it all kinds of things, and then people were cracking down on that. No subletting and all that thing.
Well, they didn't know about that, so they were like, "Oh yeah, I want to rent it. Yeah, I pay the rent. No problem."
right. So watching this, I think I definitely think it's interesting from an investor standpoint, and it's going to be interesting. I think these homes now that have been sitting on the market for a while, that whose value has gone down. Whenever you see stuff like that, I always think, ding, ding, ding. That's a wealth exchange.
But you know what?
Like, if you have the holding costs, could you buy this home at 60% of its value and hold it until that joker goes back up? Because we know they're not going to let Palm Springs go down like that. There are too many millionaires, multimillionaires. If you have the capital to hold and just do holding costs, maybe you could do some day events. I'm not telling you what to do, but maybe you could do some things that are within the city ordinances.
Make it a tourist attraction.
That wouldn't violate what's going on within your HOA or whatnot. But if you got the holding costs, now would be a good time if you're trying to get into real estate in Palm Springs. Now might be a good time to take a look if they've been sitting on there for a while. So
maybe we'll look into that. We talk about Karens and things like that, but the problem is actually way worse than what we know, because I've heard stories of Airbnb paying guests and hosts off because things happen in these Airbnbs, and they don't want a bad name to come on Airbnb, and they have the bag to pay people like, hey, here's your money back.
Can you imagine being the legal counsel and being the PR for
Airbnb?
These companies?
Well, it started out as you got somebody sleeping on your couch, or you rented out your guest bedroom. Then it turned from, okay, rent the whole house out, or you got a guest room, or
because people used to have boarders, and that was common. You had the boarder that came and stayed for years, even.
Yeah, that's how it eventually started out. But even like the bed and breakfast, like the owners would live on the first floor, and then on the second floor, or to the left or to the right.
Always wanted one.
You did?
That was gonna be my thing. I was gonna open a bed and breakfast by the water somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's really dope. Maybe I'll do that if I retire ever.
I think they should have like whole areas and neighborhoods like where your mom used to live, Virginia Beach. Like right there along those stuff right there. Like it's so many tourists and travelers and waters. I don't see why a regular home. I mean, I'm sure they are, but like
lifestyle.
Just certain areas is like, that's all it is. Like you either do Airbnb or you do it yourself. Like, my favorite word you don't like is the chalets. in Gatlinburg.
Obsessed with the word shallow.
But yeah, that would be so nice. You would read the book, and the owner would tell you like, "Thank you for staying in my."
Yeah, here's some really cool restaurants to check out. Here are some, here are some of my favorite recipes. You should try it.
Yeah, so they would have little websites where you can pick out the different little shallow. This was before Airbnb. You could go on there and find different ones, like big ones, small ones, real high up in the mountains. But that was kind of scary, real high, and it started snowing up in the mountains in Gatlinburg.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can be scary.
Oh, well, I haven't been to one. You should take me. Okay.
Let's see. Big Bear now.
Yeah, we gotta go Big Bear on the West Coast.
Big Bear on the West Coast.
So what else is on this docket? You did mention
Mr. Beast.
Let's talk about Mr. Beast. Closing on $100 million deal for his first streaming TV show.
Now, I got to tell you, I caught on very late on Mr. Beast. I didn't know who in the heck
our son does.
Mr. Beast was.
Wow.
But until I looked at his YouTube and the revenue that he gets from YouTube. So I had to read the formal thing. So his name is James Donaldson, for those of y'all that, like me, don't know who in the heck he was at first. So he's a YouTuber who does weird charity videos.
Yeah.
So he'll like give everybody, kind of like Oprah, like he'll just
cars,
out,
$100,000. But it's weird though. So like
weird stuff.
We'll give you $100,000 if you stay in the circle for 7 days.
But this dude is like 25.
He's only 25. Why do I think he was older?
25-year-old. He looks much older.
I know he did a show with Keith Lee recently.
He did. They were sitting on Keith Lee's daughter's little Paw Patrol desk and table and chairs or whatever. It was really cute. But yeah, he did something with Keith Lee. He loves doing collaborations with people. But yeah, he has over 233 million subscribers.
We need y'all to subscribe. YouTube. Come on now. This dude got 233 million.
But half of his people got to be 12, though.
Right. I don't think Jonathan's friends will be interested. But Jonathan's friends' parents, though, y'all come and subscribe over here. Right. Jay, why did you just like browbeat everybody?
233 million?
Yeah, that's a lot. But he provides something that people want to watch. I mean, not gonna lie, I watched some of his videos. They're very interesting, especially the competition ones. What was that Korean show that came out last year? I can't think of the name. Oh goodness, what was it?
The Squid Games.
Squid Games. Thank you. Squid Games came out. They did a Squid Games version, and I watched the whole thing, all 28 minutes. Mr. Beast did. I did. They did a whole. It was safer, obviously, than the Squid Game thing. I watched it. It was last year, and I was off, I guess. But yeah, it was cool.
It says he had a burger in 2020, and it was so nasty that Mr. Beast sued the company that made the burger. It's supposed to be a Mr. Beast burger. He sued the company, then the company sued him back. So he got a line of candy bars coming out.
That's already out.
But but it's supposed to be like
really good candy bars, like not all those fillers and all that stuff. We should get some and try them.
I'll try them, but I feel like, how do you sue somebody for you not liking? Like, taste is very personal.
Probably like a name defamation, or you were supposed to make something good and you intentionally made it. I don't know. You can sue anybody for color yellow. You can sue somebody for anything these days.
That's true.
But that's pretty big, because I don't know, like, okay, Amazon, I would think, unless I don't pay that much attention, Amazon is like a lower tier for like movies and shows. Like, what's the most popular?
You got Netflix.
Let's Google it. What's the most popular Amazon show?
What do I be watching? Harlem is on there. Woo woo. Shout out to.
I don't know that everybody watches that.
What?
That's true. That's very specific.
What do you say?
Those who like go to brunch with me
need to monitor
will watch something like that.
What?
Harlem with Megan Good.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one too.
Thank you, Jen.
They ain't get paid no $100 million.
Well, I mean, but it's an Amazon Prime show. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So specifically, because I don't think we said this, it's a $100 million TV deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know if we said that part. So that's why it's so big. But think of the sheer value that he is gonna bring in for them. I mean, if you think about most businesses, when someone is selling a business, they're selling it for 2 to 3 times the current revenue that they're making. So if I make $100,000 in my business and I want to sell it, I'm going to sell it for between $200,000 to $300,000, right? Mm-hmm. So if they are investing $100 million into Mr. Beast, they are expecting 2 or 3x that amount, and it's probably going to be even more, but minimum 2 to 3x.
They gonna get these kids back watching TV with putting Mr. Beast on Amazon.
She'll be right
that
here.
Makes sense because that's only $2 or $3 out of every one of his followers.
That's it, easily.
But we can do that.
If you think about it, okay, we're talking Amazon. What do they specialize in? Distribution.
And all of his stuff is going to be product placement.
Buy it on Amazon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Smart.
These kids. First of all, let me make sure I got a lock on our account because Jonathan. No, I'm just kidding. But that's where it's coming from. Like I see it.
His audience is even younger than Jonathan's age.
Amazon.
Like 12-year-old.
I mean, no, it's that age.
I never heard of any of this stuff. So. Yeah. Reacher,
because
that's the show on Amazon. No, this is a rated Reacher. Invincible.
Oh, we're talking about Amazon shows. Yes.
Yeah, Wheel of Time.
Greatest show
ever made.
I don't know any of
Gen V.
What is Gen V?
That one was good.
Oh, really?
There you go. Jack Ryan.
Okay, I'm gonna watch Jack Ryan.
I've heard of Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan didn't start on Amazon.
I'm a Virgo.
Carnival Row.
Never heard of none of this stuff.
The Power. Man, we watch Power.
But
not The Power, though.
But like we talked about before, there's a show for everybody. If 10,000 people watch it, they will make a show.
We can do a show. Who wants to watch it? Who wants to watch it?
Again, My Strange Addiction. I like American Greed. That's a good show. But they have a show for everybody.
They do.
Well, we're going to have to start putting some product placement in now that I'm looking at the set. Like, so next week, it's going to be something in the middle that you can buy on our page.
There we go.
So,
or you want us to put your product right there?
There you go.
We will try it right here on this here podcast just for you.
Yeah.
We'll give you our honest opinion, too. We're going to stay positive, but we're going to give you our honest opinion. Anyway, so yeah.
Speaking,
the more we're doing this, I'm excited.
We're talking about Airbnb and property values and things like that.
Okay.
Another thing, in addition to Airbnb to save the housing collapse, was the rise, well, not the rise, but hedge funds who essentially started out with stocks. They had loads of people's 401ks, retirements account, and they invested in stocks. And they said, oh, shoot. Real estate is a good thing to put money into also. Yep. So one of the biggest companies called BlackRock. So they are a global investment management firm with over 9 trillion, not billion, trillion in assets under management. Mm-hmm. So they have a significant now presence in the real estate market, with estimated to own 60 billion in real estate assets.
Yep.
So this company, BlackRock, this sector makes BlackRock one of the largest real estate owners in the world. Yeah. So recently, BlackRock bought a bunch of property over in Europe because their market is different than ours.
Okay.
They actually had a negative interest rate right now, so borrowing money was like super duper cheap. So that's interesting. Their market was totally different, so they just bought a bunch of real estate over in Europe, which increased their position like global, not just U.S. So they are a major player, and it's something that we have to look into because a lot of people, this was big even in Ohio, hedge funds, like 1 out of 10 houses.
I'm talking sucking them up.
was bought by hedge funds.
Yes.
And the problem with hedge funds, they're corporations. Now, I'm a corporation, but I'm like, small. We're small compared to them. So the problem is when hedge funds buy real estate, they don't buy like me, you, we buy even 10 or 20 houses.
Right.
They buy huge portfolios for rentals, and they have basically a blank check to buy whatever the heck they want to, and they never sell the properties.
Right.
So
unless they need a huge capital dump.
But if they do, they sell it to another place like them who don't plan on selling the property. So it
can
never,
sell the whole of the portfolio.
So the problem is it never becomes housing supply for a regular homeowner to buy, which shortens our housing inventory. So
and we're still in a housing shortage, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're still in a housing shortage in America.
Yeah, so a lot of our available housing is owned by corporations like BlackRock, and the other one, Airbnb, was big. So you got all these individual investors that did Airbnb. So the available housing for the regular,
for a primary residence,
is that's another reason why we have a housing shortage.
Yeah.
So
it's really interesting, especially that you say that. Because, our passion is to help people build wealth.
Yeah.
Through our sector, real estate. So you can build wealth in many different ways, in many different industries. But for us, it's real estate, and it's one of the more solid ways, less volatile ways of building wealth. And so most people, especially first-time home buyers, that's their first instance of their wealth portfolio is their primary residence. So these hedge funds buying up these properties like this, 120 properties can be one portfolio.
Yeah.
So just so that's 120 homes that are no longer available to first-time home buyers.
Yep.
And again, widening the gap. We talked a couple weeks ago for black homeowners who, for Las Vegas, it's only 28%, and that has remained static like that for the past 10 years. So it's just it's interesting that you say that, because it's just messing up the gap even more. It's widening that gap even more. And if you are still talking about renting, I need you to change your mindset. I really want you to change your mindset, especially if you're looking to become a homeowner. Some people don't want to get into real estate, and that's fine. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that eventually do want to be homeowners and want to build wealth through real estate. You have to start somewhere, guys. And it doesn't help that everybody's, trying to buy the home of their dreams and waiting until interest rates do whatever they're going to do, and waiting for prices to fall, which they're not about to fall here. But it's moving the goalpost as you're waiting. The goalpost is still moving while you're standing on the sidelines. I need you to get into the game. If you're trying to build wealth, you need to go to the WillisTeamLV.com, schedule an appointment with us. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Even if you don't plan on moving to Las Vegas, we can help you. We are connected to a lot of realtors in all kinds of states and cities. So we can help you do that. So visit the WillisTeamLV.com. This burdens me. It burdens me.
We joke about this all the time since we had some relatives come stay with us, and we the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But when you look at, you like him or not, look at what Elon Musk is doing. I read a lot.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I read a lot.
But also get in the game.
They were talking about how Jeff Bezos, when he has meetings, like office meetings and stuff, he's not even talking about nothing that's going on this year. His office meetings are about stuff 5 years plus down the road.
Come on, talk about it.
So he already got the plan together for what they're doing today. He had that plan 5 years ago, 3 years ago. So the meetings that you're having now are about something that's going to happen in 10 years down the road. Yep. So when you see BlackRock start buying real estate,
They thinking this is a long term.
Yeah,
game,
a long term
y'all.
game. So when stuff is bad, I don't know why it's the same cycle all over and over and over again. I got it now. But when stuff is bad, that's the best time to buy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that's what I'm
when
looking
in
at.
Rome, do as the Romans do.
Palm Springs, I'm like, if you're complaining that the value is going down 30 to 40%, hold up. Let me look at my purse and see if I got this carrying cash. I don't. It's not in my purse, trust me. But I'm just saying, don't come for me trying to. No, it ain't in my purse. But like, if you have it, if you're able to carry, go ahead and buy that home over in Palm Springs because the value will return.
Eventually,
it's gonna go up and it's gonna surpass.
The dust will settle and that sucker.
That's what happened to all these homes in Las Vegas. That's what happened to the homes in Cincinnati. It wasn't as drastic as we've seen here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But people were buying pennies on the dollar.
But
yeah.
It came way
up. A home that was, somebody purchased for $350,000. They had to get rid of it for $150,000, whether they lost it in foreclosure or whether they had to short sell it or whatever. People were locking these homes up for $100,000. These homes, same homes, that haven't done anything to it, are now worth $500,000.
Yeah.
And all they did was take advantage of the downturn. Life is just like this, y'all. Mm-hmm. Every market, particularly we're talking about real estate market, it goes just like this.
Don't be fooled by the roller coaster ride.
Don't be fooled. Don't be scared by the roller coaster, and don't be scared by those who are telling you not to make moves.
Yeah. Stay ready.
Stay ready. That way you don't have to get ready, and that way you won't miss the mark trying to get ready when things are happening. Look at what's happening and make moves. Get with some other people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
Make syndications. Like, get together with a group of people. Get together with your brunch crew. Let's
Stop
make this make
spending money
sense.
on mimosas and buy it on mountains and.
Just buy a couple of mimosas, but don't get the all you can drink ones. Just buy like two.
Buy like two.
All right. But then get together with your brunch crew and purchase property. You can definitely do that. And maybe it's something to hold or whatnot. But, we have to start thinking in terms of long-term, not short-term.
Yeah.
Truly. And because short-term, it'll get you in trouble. If you're trying to rent, first of all, if you're trying to rent a home out here, right now, a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home in Henderson, that in a quiet place, if you are looking for a particular area, it's gonna run you about $2,100, $2,300. That's not with that doesn't include utilities and all the other things. So imagine you're paying that person's mortgage. You're not paying your mortgage. You're putting money into that person's pocket. And whether they're making money, because some people say, well, I won't be making money off of it. Well, you're paying down a mortgage, which is increasing the equity in your home. Homes here in Las Vegas appreciate in value. You have to think long term. That's what I'm trying to get people to do. Think long term.
I think people need to start looking at real estate like stocks. You don't necessarily make any money off stocks. You hold it, and unless it splits and you get dividends, you don't make any money from stocks. Mm-hmm. But if you could put your money into real estate like you put it in the stocks and leave it there, even if you rent it out and you don't make any money, now, we do it as a career or a livelihood. But if you invest in real estate like you do stocks, especially here, like on this part of the country, the West Coast, Vegas, California, stuff like that, it goes up in value. Even if it's going to go down, it's just like stocks. You buy stocks, put the stuff in your drawer and wake up 10 years later. Even if the stock market tanked, it's going to come back up and it's going to be higher. You have to start looking at real estate the same way that you look at stocks or a gold bar or silver or something like that.
You're messing it. Yeah. You're messing it.
Now, speaking of currency, we're going to switch topics.
Okay. Still investing.
Same company, BlackRock. Now, remember, they transitioned from stocks to real estate.
Right.
Now, recent data reveals that BlackRock, the same company we were just talking about.
Where's this company based?
I don't know. All over the world, Craig. The world's leading asset manager. They're the world's leading asset manager. They we found out that they possess 33,430 Bitcoin. That's valued at 1.34 billion. So they increased their Bitcoin holdings. And so the reason why they did that is because the government recently passed a EFT, which is like a traded fund. So they increased their position because remember, like we talked about how when the marijuana publicly traded companies, once it becomes federally, like you can buy a marijuana stock right now for like 3 cents. Once it becomes federally legal, that stock price of that is going to shoot up. Same thing with this EFT. Once Bitcoin becomes more of a federal approved currency, the value of it is going to shoot up. So I sold some of my Bitcoin when the things got bad. I was like, I ain't really with this. But I kept a lot of it. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I ain't saying go crazy with it, but you might want to pick up a little Bitcoin for the surge, because when you see...
This is strictly for entertainment purposes and should not be used as financial advice.
Just like the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But when you see BlackRock, Elon Musk, all these people that's been making money for years and years and years, and they run stuff with billions and $1 trillion worth of assets, it's something to pay attention to.
It looks like BlackRock is based in the U.S. I mean, they have 70 offices.
Yeah. So this
maybe UK
cryptocurrency just recently went up. All cryptocurrencies were up.
Check my
Like
bank.
they spiked on January 11th. They went up. And so the world's largest cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, it rebounded about 157% in 2023. But it's still down from where it was before, because Bitcoin like surged. And then so...
You mean it slipped? And it hasn't recovered?
Yeah, it went down.
Yeah.
It didn't go back, hasn't gone back up to where it went down before so far. So the number 2 crypto is Ethereum. I have a little bit of Ethereum. Got a little bit of that. So BlackRock, and now Jen's favorite boy, Elon Musk, revealed his personal crypto holding.
You're a muskie, Jen.
We created the term. We created a...
No, Jen, you actually said his people call him Musk, like his people.
I decided
that.
You
just... Oh, she really did. Okay.
Yeah, that was a Jen.
Elon Muskies.
So he revealed his personal crypto holdings via his social platform X. So they quietly received another money transmitter license, adding to a clutch of state approvals as it looks to revolutionize payments in 2024. So Elon, if you don't know, Elon Musk was either the founder or co-founder of PayPal.
Right.
So you were like, oh, why is Elon Musk buying Twitter and turning it into X? So apparently he has a plan to take over PayPal and use X for EFTs, cryptocurrency.
Transactions.
Yeah, transactions like that. So when in Rome, I'm just saying, you might want to look into these things. So when you see companies like BlackRock start diversifying into things, that means there's a change on the horizon.
There's a change on the horizon.
Yeah,
so
change on the horizon. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Ready for our real estate minute of the day?
Real estate minute.
Yes. All right. So real estate minute of the day has everything to do with short-term rentals.
Wait, can we pause for just a second?
Yes.
What do you say? This is the real estate minute, but this is personal experience, because we get a lot of people to say, I want to invest in real estate and buy Airbnb.
Okay.
This minute of the day is for all those people, all the questions that we get, all the people to say,
for those who want to invest in Airbnb. So
go ahead.
I've got some things for you.
Tell the people.
I've got some things for you. If you want to invest in short-term rentals, do your research, okay? You need to know what city laws and ordinances are out there. You need to know what their current regulations are, and you need to understand how to obtain a license. I do not recommend, especially in the year of our Lord 2024, you operating a short-term rental illegally. It's only going to come back and bite you in the behind. So make sure you understand city laws, regulations, ordinances, and permits. Also, make sure you understand HOA rules. If your home is in an HOA, which is a homeowners association, homeowners associations actually carry more weight than city laws, ordinances, and regulations. So if a city says that you can have it, if they've given you the permit, if they've given you the license, but the HOA says no, the HOA can still shut your operation down. So please know, if the HOA that you are trying to purchase your property in or trying to do a short-term rental in, if they allow Airbnbs or if they have a cap, just like we learned with Palm Springs neighborhoods. Finally, a good rule of thumb for short-term rentals is asking the question, can this also be used as a long-term rental? Can I make money with it as a long-term rental? Or can I make money with it as a midterm rental? And midterm rentals are homes or properties that are rented out for 30 or more days. And those do not fall under the rules of short-term rentals. So if you can still make money as a midterm rental, you could still be in good shape or using it as a long-term rental.
That's good.
Finally, you can also use your home. If you find yourself kind of in that permit or licensure purgatory, you could also use your home as a content space, or maybe like a peer space type of home where you have day events and you rent it out during the day, but at night it shuts down. Again, you still need to look at your HOA rules about running a business out of your home, but it is an opportunity, and it could save you from short-term rental purgatory that we're all seeing these homes in. So that is my real estate minute of the day. Hope this helped. If you are still thinking about investing in a home, or investing in real estate, period, we would love to help you. Jay is our resident investor and investing guru. So we would love to talk to you about investing anywhere, not just in Las Vegas. So give us a call, visit us at thewillisteamlv.com. Our office number is there as well. So we'd love to help you. Anyway, this was a good one.
Yep.
It's had some good nuggets in it. Yeah.
One more thing. The new, like we talked about how Airbnb is new.
Yeah.
Content spaces are like that too. They aren't regulated yet. They don't know what to do with them. So as now it might be a nice little wave right now with content spaces. So it's kind of like they're in the same position that Airbnb was back in the day.
Yeah, indeed. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Let us know what your favorite part of this episode was. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. Make sure before you leave us, make sure you subscribe. Hit that button down there. Make sure you hit the bell so that you are notified every time we upload new content. And we will see you guys next time.